What's going on, guys? We are back with another episode of the Center Court Podcast. I'm your host, Collin. To my left is Caleb. We got a special guest joining us today, former Lipscomb standout Joe Anderson. If you've watched Lipscomb basketball in the last few years, then you know Joe was the centerpiece of the Bison's basketball team. He helped lead the Bisons to the 2025 ASUN Championship, earning ASUN Tournament MVP honors. Along the way, he built a reputation as a leader, a competitor, and someone who can run the show from the point guard position. Now he's taking that same mindset to the professional level overseas, and today we're excited to catch up with him. We'll talk about the championship run, the lessons he learned at Lipscomb, his faith, and what it's like being a professional athlete, and what's ahead. Without further ado, thank you for joining us, Joe. We really appreciate it, man. Taking time out of your day to talk to us on this pod, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Heck yeah, man. I'm super excited to talk with you. Obviously, we talked before just for a brief period, but again, thank you for joining the show, hopping on. We appreciate it more than you know. And then, you want the first question, Colin?
I'm gonna kick things off. How's life been making the move overseas? Like, what is it like being over there compared to being here?
Yeah. So I started out in England last year. I was in a little town called Bristol. So it was great. I always explain it to people. My roommate at Lipscomb, my junior year, or I guess my fourth year. I played 5 years in college, but my roommate went and played with them during my fifth year of college. So I kind of moved out there knowing one of my best friends was going to be out there, and it was in England, so everyone speaks English. So I just describe it to people as like a paid for vacation where I get to just play basketball. So man, it was such a blessing. It was such a great way to like get my feet wet, if you will, in the pro life. I was able to learn so much from Coach Andreas. He was such a blessing, and I was able to be around a lot of great guys. And yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Such a blessing.
That's awesome, man. So what's the biggest adjustment to living in Europe compared to Tennessee?
Yeah, I think the the weirdest thing was definitely driving, man. So I was on the other side of the car and the other side of the road, and I was getting car sick the whole first like 2 months, man. It was tough. But living wise, I don't think I have a country accent, but like everywhere around there, they thought I had a country accent, and it was hard for me to understand their accent. So like I would order food and they would ask me questions, and I would like look at my friends like for a translation, but I'd feel dumb because they were just speaking English. It just sounded different. But yeah, style of living, everything was pretty similar. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What is the food like out there? Like, what were you eating day to day?
Bristol is known for food, actually. So the town I was in, it's like one of the best places in the UK for food. So they're famous for Indian food. So I'd never had that before. So I got to go to like an authentic Indian restaurant, really good food. I mean, they had everything. It was kind of like America in the sense of like a melting pot of a bunch of different cultures. So in this one little small town, it was a bunch of different food. So yeah, it was sick.
We're
Yeah, I
going.
always like hearing. Oh, go ahead.
Go
My
ahead,
bad,
Caleb.
Colin. No, I was gonna say I always like hearing the food comments about the UK because sometimes you'll get the bad response and then
Yeah.
like, oh, I was in a good spot.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the breakfast. The beans on toast, and they have the
Right.
they have like this thing called basically it's like a blood. It's like pig's blood cauterized, and it's like is their breakfast is unique, and I couldn't really get behind the breakfast, but I had an Italian teammate who cooked a lot, and yes, we always had good food over at our spot.
Heck yeah. I think you're muted, Colin.
We're gonna take a trip back down to memory lane, man. Go back to your Maryville days. What was it like growing up in Maryville, man? What was it? What was it like?
Yeah, so I grew up with three sisters, so it was a blessing in disguise for sure. But I had two older sisters and one little. So growing up in Maryville, a lot of people knew me as the little brother. Like Gabby and Cassidy's little brother. So I was always watched out for, and it was great. Maryville's a small town, so you kind of get to know everyone. My dad's a chiropractor, so a lot of people used to go in and see him. So everyone knew me as Dr. Anderson's son. So definitely had a reputation. But like people knew me going into school, so I had to have a certain way to act, and make sure I wasn't doing my last name any disservice. But it was great. I mean, there's so many good people around here, and it's definitely that Southern charm is everywhere. Everyone's real nice. So yeah, blessing definitely be from Maryville.
Heck yeah. So I did want to ask, so you finished as Maryville High School's all-time leading scorer with 2,387 points. When did you realize basketball could take you beyond high school?
Yeah, so I played AAU for you guys probably know him, Bobby Mays, and he played at Tennessee. And man, Bobby just he poured into us when we were young. I want to say I played for Bobby when I was in like 6th grade. Maybe I started. Probably met him when I was in like 5th grade. But he just kind of showed us like a high level version of basketball as we were growing up. And like it kind of made high school easier for a lot of us on his team because we all saw like what it could be. We grew up going to tournaments watching T. Higgins on Bobby's older team play against guys and do crazy stuff, and we all were like, we're going to be like that when we get older. So it was cool to have something to chase, and Bobby did a great job of bringing the best talent together to get better, and iron sharpens iron. So I'd say pretty young, like 8th grade freshman year, I realized I was like, I really want to go beyond high school and play in college and hope to play pro one day.
Oh yeah, sure.
You scored 2,000 in high school. So how much were you averaging like game to game?
Right.
I had a good senior year. I think I averaged 25 my senior year. But yeah, no, it was a fun last year, that's for sure.
Did y'all go to state, or who did y'all end up with?
Yeah, it was 2020. So I think my first 3 years I lost on a buzzer beater to get to state, and then my last year we won, and then COVID happened, so we didn't get to play. So it kind of sucked. But yeah, no, it was definitely a blessing to at least make it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Looking back though, is there one game in high school that stands out to you in particular? Like you just maybe went off, or is it a crazy game or a rival game, or just one game that stands
Yes,
out to you?
we used to play against Bearden, my boys, Quez, Trent, Drew, Shaq, Roman, like all these guys I grew up playing with since I was in 3rd grade in Knoxville. And I mean, they were better, especially my sophomore, junior year. They were better than us, and they used to just whoop up on us every time. And we had them at home one time. I think I had like 35. I had a good game, but I hit a buzzer beater to win, and it was such a good feeling because they just beat us, man. Drew still gives me a hard time. They beat us every time, man. So we finally got a win, and I played good. So it was nice to. I'll remember that game for sure.
Heck yeah. So you kind of touched on it, but growing up, was there any players in particular that you modeled your game after?
Yeah, model my game after it. My dad really liked Steve Nash and Jason Williams, and he would always tell me to watch them. They were really fun to watch. Getting a little older, I'm trying to think of guys. I've always really liked Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray's he's got that mid-range jumper, and he's so like smooth when he plays. I'm a big Jamal Murray fan, but yeah, I've always been like a mid-range guy. That was like my niche thing in high school, and so I always kind of like wanted to watch players who shot a bunch of mid-range jumpers who weren't super tall, because I'm not the tallest guy. Yeah.
That's what's crazy. You say that. That's the one thing that always stood out whenever I watched you play. Like when you played against my brother-in-law in high school, you loved the mid-range, and you were really good at it too. And so
Thank
I
you.
can see Jamal Murray in your game now. That you say that. I can see it. I can see it.
That's generous. I don't know about that, but thank you.
Well, the mid-range, definitely in the
Yeah.
mid-range. So
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Being that you are from the Maryville area and it's not the biggest town in the world, talk about like the struggles you face getting recruited from a small town as being as compared as to being like in Nashville or in bigger cities around the world.
Yeah, no, that was definitely something that, my dad, my best friend growing up, and it's like my agent. But it was always frustrating, especially when I would have like good AAU seasons or good high school seasons, and like, comparison's the thief of all joy, man. But I'm comparing myself to these other guys who are from bigger cities or different areas, and they're getting all the offers that I wanted, or all the mixtapes, or all the recognition that I wanted. And I think it definitely like made me grow up with a bit of a chip on my shoulder. And I was like, I got something to prove, almost like from a smaller town, and people saying stuff always like, well, I know he's doing it there, but it doesn't. So it grew up with a chip on my shoulder that I try to keep there, and use this to work as hard as I can at it all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome.
What? Oh, go ahead, Kelly. Go ahead.
No, you got it. You got it.
What other schools did you have reaching out to you? Like right outside of high school, who did you have contacting you?
Yeah, so right outside of high school, it took all my buddies were getting offers earlier than me. And I remember it was like the beginning of my junior summer, I was getting frustrated because I kept getting calls from people, but everything was just interest. Like I would go on visits, and I'd talk to head coaches, and I'd have Zoom calls with staffs, but no one was like offering. And I remember telling my parents at one point, I was like, whoever offers me first, that's where I'm going. Like, I'm gonna make a point that like whoever gives me this first offer, I'm going. And then Furman offered me, and Coach Ritchie is a great coach, and the culture they had there was unbelievable. And I was like, wow, this is such a God thing. Like, I got to do this. This is perfect. So I ended up committing there, and yeah, that's right. That's where I spent my first 3 years of college.
Heck yeah. So that's perfect. It kind of leads into our next area. So we were wanting to talk about your transition from Furman to Lipscomb and that kind of thing. So after 3 years, you decided to transfer from Furman. What went into that decision?
Yeah, there was a really good point guard coach brought in, JP Pegues. He's actually from Nashville, and he's a great player. And my sophomore year, he was a freshman, and we went at it, and yeah, we both kind of played our that year. And then my junior year, coach brought in another point guard, Carter Witt, who I think's from North Carolina, who I'm really good buddies with Carter. But coach kind of told me that season it was going to be me and Carter battling for minutes. And basically going into that next year, he kind of told me, he was like, we're going to go with JP and Carter. And, I think you could be a good player somewhere else, but just the way it's working on this team, we don't see you being our starting point guard. And like I said earlier, I wanted to be a pro basketball player. And it's hard to tell this to kids now because a lot of kids move around, and if it doesn't work out for them, they want to jump somewhere else. But I thought I'd given it all I could for 3 years, and I thought I owed it to myself to go take a chance on myself, if you will, and take a leap of faith and go somewhere where I'd get an opportunity on the court. And that's what Lipscomb was, and I'm forever thankful for the Lord that it worked out,
Absolutely.
Shout out to JP, man. We went to the same high school, so he's like a little brother. He played with
Hillsboro.
Yeah. Shout out to JP, man. But that's dope,
sir.
though. That's dope for sure. You became one of the nation's leaders in assisted turnover ratio and steals. What was that something you intentionally worked on, or is that it just comes natural since you're PG1? Or what happened?
Yeah, I think it just goes with growing up, like I grew up playing with guys like Dutta, Dante Harris, a lot of my buddies around here, AJ Davis, all these guys who I'd play basketball with growing up were just like really good, quick hands. I mean, even guys like Quez, like these guys were just incredible and anticipating. And I just grew up around that my whole life. And even the younger generation, like BJ Edwards, like these guys just had an incredible knack for getting steals. And it was just, I was always around it. And I think I just kind of picked up on it. I mean, Bobby Mays, our coach, was an incredible defender. I think he was known for defense at Tennessee. So just having someone like that in your ear constantly. And it just gave me a different point of view on defense. Now, there's a lot of times my coaches in college got pissed because I was gambling too much. But yeah, I think I definitely picked up on a little knack to get my hands in passing lanes and get a couple steals.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to gamble sometimes, you know, when on those steals. So after losing to North Alabama in the 2023-2024 ASUN tournament, what was your team's mentality entering in the 2024-2025 season, knowing you might face them again, obviously, in the tournament?
Yeah, so we had a guy that season when we lost on the buzz beater. His name was Jacob Ognasevich, and he was preseason player of the year, broke his foot, didn't play the whole year, and was just kind of like turned into like another coach on the bench that season. And I mean, he's unbelievable. Like he could have gone and played anywhere in the country that next year for, I mean, a good amount of money with NIL. But we lost on that buzzer beater. And he walked into the coach's office and he was like, "Coach, that's not right how we lost. I'm going to stay another year and we're going to get it done." And it was like, we all kind of like through the grapevine, everyone heard about that story. And it was kind of like it made us all buy in a little bit more because we were like, wow, if he's going to sacrifice hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to get this done, like what are we all willing to sacrifice? So our whole core returned. And I mean, from day one of summer, we all knew like, there is one goal for the season, and if we don't do that, it'll be a failure. So it just made us work a little different. And I think if we could have written it up before the season, we would have wanted to play UNA in the championship. So it's just funny. God has a funny sense of humor, you know?
Absolutely, dude.
Absolutely.
I remember watching that game on TV. It's like a sold out crowd. What was that environment like for you? How was that?
Yeah, it was nuts. So championship game, we our student section is on spring break. So before the game, our coach told us, he was like, like we're gonna get behind each other and we're gonna get it done, and like don't worry about the crowd. Like if they have a lot of people, don't worry about it. So I would go out before the 90-minute mark and just do form, and I'm shooting form. I got my headphones on, and I just hear like this roar of feet, and it was UNA's team like fan. 1,000 people UNA shirts walking in, and like the whole left side of our arena was full of like UNA, and it was before any of our crowd got there. And I was like, wow, I don't know if this is gonna feel like a home game, but Lipscomb fans ended up showing out. And shout out our baseball team, man, and our baseball coach. They were in a different, I forget where they're playing. They were like at Austin P, or like a 3-hour drive away. And instead of staying overnight like they usually would, out to the game, and they were there for our game and were able to be in the. It was awesome.
Heck yeah. So about that again. So winning the ASUN tournament MVP, it had to be special. So what do you remember most about that run?
Yeah, gosh. Shout out Will Ness, our trainer. I was like, everyone makes fun of me. I was sick for like a month with like a cold that just wouldn't go away. And then that last week during the tournament, it was like the worst I'd been. Like I was like weak, like shaky feeling, like I had like the chills. And the night before every game, Will Ness would have like the EMT. He would come in and give me an IV. So I'd get an IV and get rejuvenated. I'd sleep and I'd wake up and I'd go play in the game. Coach Murray, one of our assistants, who's now at Clemson, he went and hooked me up with this hyperbaric chamber. So I would do an IV. I'd sit in the chamber and I'd feel good enough for the game, and I'd play the game. And then after the game, I would just be in the daze, like, because I was so sick. So it was so funny. It was like perfect. It was like 3 games in a row. Wasn't thinking, was just out there playing, and I just had all these people behind me taking care of me. So I definitely just remember just the support the most, just people walking me to the finish line.
Heck yeah. That's
I
awesome.
got one more question.
Yeah.
Switch gears. Talk to me about Will Pruitt, sharing the backcourt with him. I played against his older brother growing up.
Yeah.
Julia, we used to go at it back and forth. But talk to me about him. How was that sharing it back over him?
Man, Will is funny because I think I might be even older than Will, but Will is such a mentor to me, man. Like he just walks with the Lord in everything he does, and it's so encouraging to me. Like there's never a moment too big for him to like stop and think about God first throughout it. And it was so cool for me to see that and be around that for 2 years. And like I say that, but in saying that, he's probably one of the most competitive, like bad dudes I've ever met on the court. So man, such a blessing. Like what a guy. What a guy.
Yeah, I think his whole family is athletic. His brother, his sister,
Yeah.
family of athletes for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But is there one Lipscomb story that you want to share with our viewers that you maybe had a good time, maybe it was a good memory you want to share?
One Lipscomb story. I'm trying to think of a fun one. Gosh, there's a lot, man. Have y'all ever seen that video of the kid from I think he's from Boston College, and they're asking him March Madness? They're like, man, what's one thing you're gonna miss the most? You know, and he starts crying, and he's like, going to eat. And it's so true. Like, there's so many stories that like are just us, like the whole team getting in the car and going to eat, or like us all going to the caf and eating. Like, oh, it's so many good memories, especially that last year, man. Just there's so many good times we had with nothing to do with basketball, you know.
For sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So we want to do a little rapid fire questions here. So I guess the first rapid fire question: who is your favorite teammate you've ever played with? That's a tough one.
Dude, that's like asking a parent their favorite child.
I know, right?
Oh, it's so hard, man. Maryville High School days, Easton Upchurch and Christian Gale were my guys. Furman days, Davis Molnar, Mike Bothwell, and then Lipscomb days. I can't even name one. Man. The whole team's like family. Whole team's like family.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, definitely a great answer. Now, who's the hardest player you ever had to guard? Talking high school.
Yeah, growing up playing with B Mays, I played against Trey Mann. So we played against Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren's team. But I specifically remember guarding Trey Mann, and he was just faster than me, more athletic. He was hitting shots. It was terrible. I hated it. It was terrible.
So, what's the toughest arena you've ever played in?
We played in Arkansas's like throwback arena in Little Rock, and it was sold out, like 25,000 fans. Yeah, the lights like went out before the game, so we had to just sit out there on the court and wait like 10 minutes before we could tip off. It was nuts, man. That game was sick.
That's great.
That's wild.
You kind of touched on this earlier, but who's your favorite NBA player growing up?
I think I'll stick with Jamal Murray. I've always liked Jamal Murray.
I like it. What's your favorite pregame meal?
Favorite pregame meal? I just gotta go some North Italia pasta in Nashville. North Italia, right there next to the mall. Man, their pasta's insane. So good.
I've been there a couple times, bro. I already know. Favorite basketball memory of all time?
Gotta be winning the A-Sun championship with the boys. Yeah.
So, if you weren't playing basketball professionally, what would you be doing?
That's a great question, man. My dad's a chiropractor, so a part of me wants to say I try to follow his footsteps. But I got a lot of family friends who are doctors, so I think I would try to get into med device sales. I think I could be good at that. So I don't know.
The money.
That's definitely where the money is. But pivoting from the rapid fire, Caleb and I are big believers in Christ, and I know that your faith is a big part of who you are. So, is there any Bible verses or any messages that impacted you the most during your career?
I forget the exact scripture, but there's a verse that Jesus says, you'll know my disciples by the way they love one another, or by the way they love others. And I think that's such a good verse for any stage of your life, man. Like going through great time, going through a tough time, like instead of like spilling the whole gospel on someone, which is also great. But if you could just show people love and just genuine love, like, I mean, Jesus says it. Like, that's one of the best ways you can show Jesus, is by loving one another. So I think that's a huge one for my life.
Oh, I love that. I really do. I love that. So how do you handle the pressures of being a pro athlete overseas while trusting God's plan?
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot easier said than done, man. But we got this Bible study. Shout out Taylor Barnett from Nashville. But we got this Bible study, and we meet every Monday, and it's all guys who play overseas now. It's unbelievable. But we were talking the other week about foundations, and like, it talks in scripture about building your foundation on the rock and not on the sand, And I think just like, you can tell when you really got your foundation on a rock, man. You don't worry about as much stuff. Like, you're set, because at the bottom line, you got a firm foundation. But man, it's vice versa too. When you start putting your foundation on social media, or on points, or on stuff like that, it's crazy how stuff can start shaking around, not in a good way.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's funny you say that, because literally my pastor's sermon this past Sunday was uh, a lot of sermons are about it, but putting your foundation on a rock versus the sand. So that's pretty wild that you said that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Your basketball career is over. What do you hope people remember you for? Not just as a player, but as a person.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. We Coach Acuff talks about this a lot. Like, at the end of the day, you'll remember your relationships more than you remember the points. So, gosh, I hope I'm remembered as a good teammate, man. Like there, I know you asked me the question, who's my favorite teammate, but I hope I would love that if a bunch of guys are like, man, I loved playing with Joe. Like that would make me really happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I completely agree. That's an incredible answer. So we're getting to the closing questions here. So where can people follow you, or kind of, keep following you and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Joe22Anderson, which I guess, Instagram always, you let everyone know the best stuff about you. But I'll be playing in Austria this upcoming season, and I believe our games are on YouTube. If you want to follow the basketball side of things, there's an app called Sofa Score, SOFA space
Okay.
score, and I got put onto it this year. It's unbelievable. You just type in anyone's name, you could be big dog like Jordan Bowden, or you could be a little fry like me. And they got everyone. They got all their stats and everything. So it's such a cool app, and it's accurate, and it'll help you follow along in the basketball side of things. But yeah, that's all I got. I need to start doing podcasting or YouTube, man.
You
Y'all are
do.
rocking.
You do.
Y'all are doing great.
You do. You do. What do you have any personal goals for yourself this year? Any career averages? Anything you want to achieve this year in particular?
Yeah, I really want to win a championship in Austria. I'm going to one of the better teams in Austria, and I really want to get winning on my resume. So I think my biggest goal this year is to win. Yeah, I think if I do that, all the other stats and accolades will fall into the right order.
Heck yeah. So what's one piece of advice you'd give to young players who also want to play college or professionally?
Yeah, it's really simple, but it's so hard, man. But you just gotta stay confident in yourself. Like they talk about it with pros, but it's like a delusional, like not real sense of confidence in yourself. And if you look at the best players, they have it. I got my screensaver says humble ambition. Like, confidence isn't a bad thing. Arrogance is a bad thing, but having the confidence. Our coach used to say, I'm not better than anyone else, and no one else is better than me. And like, if you can believe that, man, you'll be able to do a lot. But once you start comparing, and it just gets messy. So just having that confidence to be who you are and believe that's enough. That'll help you get wherever you want to go.
I got one more question. Would you ever consider coaching or training, being around that you've been around the game for so long? Would you ever, but so when you're done with basketball, would you ever consider,
Yeah,
being
I think I could. I just love being around it so much. I don't know, man. I love playing so much. I think it would hurt me sometimes to sit on that bench and have to watch it.
Definitely,
Oh,
definitely.
and it definitely does. Whenever I coach all the time, I was like, dude, I want to be out there so bad. But then I'm like, wait, my knees are toast. So that's why.
Definitely.
But I did want to share my Bible verse too. I probably should have done that a minute ago, but the Bible verse that I wanted to share with everyone was 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14. So be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Let all that you do be done in love. And I really like that one. Obviously, it's I think that's really important for us as men and men of faith that we need to stand firm in our faith. We really need to be able to share that and be bold in it. And so I really wanted to share that one today for that reason.
That's fire.
Mine comes from James chapter 1, verse 12. It says, "Blessed is the one who endures trials, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him." And I know that being a professional athlete, it's hard going from team to team. You don't know what you're going to do year in and year out, so it's hard to know what your future is going to be like. But I mean, if you stand strong in your faith, I know that everything will work out in the end. So that really just stood out to me, especially being in your situation. That just
That is the truth. That is the truth. Guys, thank you so much. This has been awesome. This has been such an encouragement to me.
Heck yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to, is there anyone that you would like to shout out or anything like that you would want to give kudos to or anything like that? Definitely give
yeah, man. I mean, just my mom and dad, like I've told the story before, but my mom, I got tattoos, I got tattoos, and people are always like, when I was growing up, they'd be like, "Man, you're gonna get a job one day." And my mom always had faith in me. She'd always say, "Man, my son's playing pro. He's gonna be all right." And it's just, it's parents are a great thing, man. To have someone believe in you like that. So, shout out them. I wouldn't be who I am without them.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
If there's any guests that you want to see on the Center Court Pod that you can hook us up with, man, who would it be?
Let's see. Any guess? Whew. That's good. I think it'd be hilarious if y'all got Bobby Mays on a podcast. He has got some great stories. He's doing a lot for the community always. Bobby would be gold. I think that'd be great. I'll send him a text and see if he can get on.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. Again, hey, thank you big time for even hopping on here and being willing to do this. We appreciate it big time. So you're our second guest that's actually on the pod, so it means a lot to us, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're excited to follow you this year too. And if you ever need anything, or if you have ever have anything that you want to say and want to say it publicly, just let me know and you can hop on the pod again.
Just let me know. Thank you guys so much. This has been awesome, man. Seriously.
Thanks again, Joe, for joining us, man. It really means a lot to us to have you on here, especially someone of your status. I mean, I know you're pretty big time, man. I know you don't.
Oh man,
you are big time, man. And if you're ever in Nashville, we can hit up that Italian place again, man. Just let me know.
Dude, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let me know.
All right. See you, Joe.
Great to see you guys.
See you, man.